we're going to use a photograph of a man in a profile view to see how we are going to draw and paint. In this workshop, we're going to first study from each part of the whole picture with pencil, charcoal, and watercolor. Starting from the eye, the nose, the mouth, and the ear before we come to put all this together to become a whole portrait. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use graphite pencil step by step to do the nose study. I'm going to go with the 2B first. Let's define. Okay, that's the top of the nose. That's the left of the nose. Find the location, and the right side of the nose is here. You can see that as a triangle. And you can actually draw the through line from here to coming down here, and pay attention to the angle. This way. So when you draw something, when you draw anything in the step, you want to pay attention to the step, what you are trying to accomplish, and focus on that. Like say for this step, I'm trying to define the location of these 3 points. Like say the left, the right, and where's the top. And first, if this is what you try to accomplish, you want to focus on that. You don't want to looking at, oh, there's a little line curving over here, there's a little value over here, a little shape here with the nostril, and there's a little thing over there. Those are the things that we're going to try to do in the next step or the next step after. Okay? So just focus this and that, and squint your eyes, and just pay attention just for this, the big shape. The bigger shape. Okay, if this is what it is, appear to be right to you, and now I'm going to indicate the area for the nostril, and it's coming down over here. Yeah, that's the nostril, and there's the side of the nose, and I'm looking for where is this area, a soft light. This area here. I find that, and now I can come here to define where's that curve actually changing from here all the way coming up, and slowly, don't draw too fast, and make the turn, and coming here, and then come up like that. So a little curve is happen actually here. Okay, here we go. It's good. Now I define a little more details in this step. And the next thing I want to do, I want to define the area that in a similar value. Okay, that actually this area in a similar value. Okay, I'm going to shade that value in. I'm not looking at inside the small changes. It's just a bigger areas at the same time. So look at the masses. And this area, and also in a similar value. But this value compared to this is just a little lighter over here. Okay, now I'm going to define actually the value in here. Shade it into the similar darkness. Define that. Good. Now by dividing in a bigger shape to recognize in the different value area, it actually helps to create a proper contrast for the whole piece. So I'm going to use my finger to softly soften. Also, you can use a different paper, a different material to blend it for different texture too. Okay, that's good. And next, I'm going to define the shape for the nostril. I'm going to pay attention to where that's going to start. It's starting over here, starting over here, starting over there. I think it's about here. So I'm going to draw that shape and coming to this direction. Okay, good. And that's a soft line going through here. When it comes to the shape, the line is no longer a line. We can just say a narrow shape. And that's good. Now I'm gonna look into inside this shape. I can actually divide that into this actually even darker than the outside here. So I divide the bigger shape into a smaller shape. And then here even a little bit darker. And there is just a darker transition from here coming through, connecting into this shape. Like this. Now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to define some small changes from here coming down here. This is a little bit darker up here, but when they come down over here, it's a little bit softer, and which is also, we can say, a little bit lighter. It's not totally white, so I kind of use the erasers to tap on it to remove a little bit. Graphite pencil, mark, move it away. So you connect a little bit similar value, but I think this is still a little bit darker than that. So I'm gonna softly blend it in like this. And also over here, I also see a little lighter shape going into that direction, like that. So it's drawing just like that, and starting from big and come small and small and small. But when you go smaller and smaller, you're making sure that you're not actually breaking the original big relationship. Like say this is darker than that, you're not going to make that darker than this area, because this area is darker than anything else inside this area. But now come to the top over here, it's also a little lighter. So remove a little bit value out with the eraser. Okay, good. A little softer. Now I'm going to make the difference between the main objects and the background. So I also see that has a light shape going through here. You can see the outside. There is a light wrap around the nose. Now I'm going to double check on that. I'm still using a 2B. I think this define that. Okay, that's good. Actually, the white narrow shape and going through here, the outside of here, and so only pay attention to the narrow white shape right now. Okay. Looking at the other side of the white shape. Actually, I'm going to move this a little bit higher for the white shape. Actually, the white shape sitting in this area. So when you focus, you can discover things that normally won't be able to see. I'm going to remove. That's right. Move this shape up higher. Now I'm going to start applying some value to be the outside and the background. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to draw a little more line. I'm going to use my blending stone to make it a little softer. Now with the dark value in the outside, it actually makes the nose pop because the value contrast. Now next, I'm going to start redefine the narrow white shape. This is very soft transition, so I'm going to have the value closer to that. And coming down, pay attention to that. Good. So I always say the eraser is a drawing tool. Eraser is not just about correcting things or correcting mistake. It's not about correcting mistake. It actually sometimes we intentionally leave the things for the eraser to define. For example, in this case, we try to use the eraser to draw the white area. And here is a softer transition too, so I'm going to have this a little lighter and coming through here. So the edge is a little lost over here and then back because the contrast. And then here and start fading away into inside the nose area. I'm going to make this the down here a little bit darker. Now I use a 4B, a little darker. And this also a little bit darker too. Here, look at here, this actually want to define the shape a little bit darker here, but up here is a little bit lighter. Okay, I'm gonna have the background to be also more consistent through here. The shape over here a little softer, also connecting from the up here and have a bit of consistency. They're showing that actually something going on in the background. I'm using my blender to blend this. And over here, I do want a little bit more contrast between inside and the light shade. Here can be a little bit darker too. Okay. I'm gonna make the nostril a little bit darker, so I'm gonna use a 6B. There we go. Now the nose is completed with the graphite pencil. This is a part of the whole workshop of how to do a watercolor painting of a profile portrait. For our patron, you can view the entire workshop in the patron area. You can upload your own images, getting feedback or give feedback to other patrons, and I'm also going to answer any questions that you have inside the patron. See you there.